Well, good morning everyone. Welcome to another podcast. This is probably my last grayling session of the year. I've had a bit of a quieter grayling season this year. There's been some rain. We've not had rain for a while. I thought it'll be great today, and rivers dropped. It was nice. I know it's been fishing well. And then we've had some rain overnight, and I thought, I won't have touched it. And I've come out, and it's up about 2 foot. I've got the 10-foot 3-weight Vision Nymph Hero, and I've got on a euro shrimp on the point, and I've put a bright egg fly on the dropper, tungsten egg. It's got a tungsten bead in it, just to try and put a bit of colour in the water and also get down a bit. Usual kind of euro-nymphing setup, no fly line, got indicator mono, and then the flies on the end, and I'm just going to toss it up and try and get it down into into this drinking chocolate, and see if I can just bump a fish on the nose and get into one. So the river's wide here. It's probably 35-40 feet across. It's not a bad day actually. It's quite mild. I'm just stood in the middle at the minute, and I'm going to ease my way upstream. I'm into a fish straight away. I thought I was on the bottom, and its bottom is moving. That's very strange. What am I into here? I can't believe that first cast. I've only felt one kick from it. Oh, don't go across there. It's a big fish. Come on. Oh, it's a big grayling. Oh, and I'm in. There we go. Absolute beauty. I cannot believe that first cast. That's getting on for £2. Fantastic. On the point fly. Well, would you believe it? Well, I don't believe that. Fantastic fish, first cast. I was almost just gauging my flies, and you do that first cast and just see how things are swimming, and am I catching the bottom, and I thought I was snagged, and then I looked at the line and it was kind of moving. So absolutely brilliant that. Well, I'm just going to stay where I am and just toss this out again. I mean, I'm just fishing the slacks really, just off the main current, and all I can hope is that you often get a window on a rising river where the fish will feed, and then they drop off and then feed again on the drop. So I've just caught it right. You never know, I might just be able to find the odd feeding fish. And that took the euro shrimp on the point, that did. I know this pool quite well, and where I hooked that fish there is a little trench. So you can just imagine in this higher flow a few fish just sitting in that trench just out the main current, I guess. I'll try some out to the other bank. Also, when the river's like this, it's always good fishing some of the slacks and near the far banks, maybe areas which you wouldn't normally fish. And what you can find is that, yeah, fish on again. Oh, it's off. Let's check my flies. You can find that fish will actually lie in areas they don't normally lie. They'll move they'll move into some of the quieter slacks just off the banks, just to shelter from the extra current. Right, toss this up again and let it run down. Visibility today is great. Not in the water, that's brown, but in the looking at the indicator mono, it's a dull day, and because the river's coloured, the chartreuse and pink of the indicator mono really stands out nicely. Right, let's just have a prod around in the bit further upstream. I've not had the best grayling season this year, in all honesty. Mind you, a lot of it's fish on. Fish on. It's not as big, this one. Another grayling. You can tell that by the way it's wriggling and twisting. It's just got into the fast water beneath me, so I'm gonna have to bully this competition style. Oh, it's took the egg as well. Fancied an egg for breakfast. It's about half a pound, if that, really, this little one. Drop you back. What was I saying? Just as I caught the fish, I've not had the best grayling season. Well, a lot of it's been wiped out, and then I don't know, just not seem to find as many feeding fish as usual. And I thought that was going to continue again today, but I'm so happy that I've actually got into a couple of fish so quickly. Right, and that was actually in the right close to the bank. I'd switched direction, fishing over to the left, and normally there'd barely be any water there. But it's just, yep, fish on again. Oh, this is a big fish. Big fish. It looks like it's going to be one of them days. Whoa. Oh, this is giving me a right fight. This is a big fish. Come on, you. And he's in the net. Good grief. On the egg as well. It's a belter, absolute belter. Oh, my word. Again, over £2 that was. And on the egg as well. I'm so glad I started fishing these bright eggs. They're just great flies in these conditions. I know a lot of people go to things like squirmies in these, and that's great. I've tried it and I've never seemed to do that well on them, and I know other people do. It's nothing to do with the fly. I think it's just having confidence, because I've never done that well on them. I tend probably not to have the confidence. I think confidence is an overlooked thing when it comes to flies. Well, there's two things. One is castability. You know, is that fly nice and easy to cast? And two is, which is to do with the way it's made, obviously, but secondly, it's confidence. And as the gillies sometimes say when I'm salmon fishing in Scotland, and you say, you know, what fly should I put on? It's whichever one you believe in. And sometimes I think if you've got confidence in a fly, you'll fish it hard and you won't mess around changing it and waste time, and you'll you'll keep repeating and repeating and repeating the cast because you're confident that there's a fish that will take it. And in these conditions, something like an egg is brilliant. Oh, that was a big fish. What's that, 3 in the first 10 minutes? I can feel my point fly actually just bumping the gravel here, and it's not snagging. It's just locking down beautifully. Ooh. Yep, fish on. It's another egg, another grayling on the egg. So I've obviously just caught the river on the rise, and the fish are happy to feed, and they're feeding. Maybe it's time for a shameless bit of advertising, but if you want to buy any of these tungsten eggs, they are available in our store, which is shop.peaksflyfishing.com. You just search for tungsten egg and you'll find this very fly for sale. Right, lost my wading stick. I've not moved yet really. I've had one move so far. One move. And what's that, 4 fish? Okay, I have a few more casts, probably a couple of longer ones, and don't forget with a Euro outfit you can actually put a bit of length of line out. Obviously the amount you control is dictated by the length of your rod. This is a 10-foot rod, so I can get a reasonable amount out in front of me. 11-foot rod you can get a bit more out, but this river's not the biggest river in the world, so a 10-foot rod's perfect to here. And if you just get the angle of the rod right, you can still see that indicator mono running down, and you can see every little take, and you can still feel the take through the tip of the rod. That's right over to the far bank. Let's just run it down by that tree stump there. I'll just describe the river a bit here. It's a big open pool, probably 35 to 40 foot across. And it's probably the only bit I'm going to fish today because the river's just a bit too high and quick. It's got trees on both sides. There's a big fallen tree half in the river. There's quite a few rocks and boulders around as well, protruding. But it's a nice, easy gravel bottom. So it's relatively easy wading, and some of this river isn't. It's quite tricky. So that's why I've chosen this today. I just don't fancy wading any of the other bits of river really. But there's kind of even current on my left, and then on my right, as I said, there's a big trench, and there's a bit of faster current and then a bit of slack in the middle. So lots and lots of good fish holding areas, and the thing about this pool is that there's a bit of relief for them to get out of the flow when the water's up. Birds are singing, and there's a few buds just starting to appear on one or two of the trees, and I dare say it, there's the slightest hint of a spring in the air, even though we're in the middle of winter. It just feels like a little bit more of a springy day, and the sun's just breaking through the clouds now and putting a bit of sun on the river as well, so it's a beautiful morning to be out. Right, I'm going to go straight ahead into some very slack water now, and I might just have to give the fly a little bit of a twitch here, just using the tip of the rod. Just a jig, just a twitch, just to give it a bit of movement. I'm working my way up to a big boulder. That's why there's slack water in the middle of the river. There's a big boulder, and the current now kind of splits to my right and my left. I can fish on the edge of that current up to the boulder. Right, I'm just going to work up tight to this bank, I think. I've moved over to the left bank. I had a little bit of a disagreement with a tree. I've got my fly out of the tree, and while I'm here, as I disturb the water, I'm just going to work my way up this side and see if there's anything tight in here. It's a lovely piece of water. The speed is perfect for nymph fishing. It's that kind of moderate pace with a few different seams of current. So I think, yeah, this will be, I think, my last Grayling, certainly the last Grayling podcast. I might sneak a cheeky session in on one of my local streams, just an hour if the conditions are right. But I'm very much looking forward to getting on the trout again this year. Often I always find that the trout season comes around really quickly, but whether it's the weather or what, this year it just seems to be an age away. At the end of January, and I've really got till 1st of April really for a lot of the rivers I fish, so it just seems an age away. But salmon season's opened, although I've not seen any reports of any fish landed yet, and I fancy having a session at the perch as well at some point. Right, I'm just in the... Oh, yeah, fish on. Ah, it's off. I said I was just in the slack behind one of the boulders there, and I had a temporary attachment to something. Right, let's wander down and do that again. Well, what a morning. Just looking into the river, I can't quite tell whether it's getting more coloured or not. It's probably about the same. I think the sun's just changed the appearance of the river a touch. Also made it harder to see my indicator man. I was really enjoying seeing that. It was so easy, and the sun's just took the edge off that a touch. Right, I'm just going to see if I can actually walk down a bit further. Big rock there. Whoa. I don't want to fall in today. I do not want to fall in today. It's not a pleasant day for swimming. Let's have a little just dabble here. I've also done a fair amount of euro-nymph in this last 2 or 3 months. Just conditions and where I've been fishing has dictated it really. I've done other bits and bobs, but I'm aching to get a fly rod back in my hand, and a single hand double hander. I'm just craving getting out with a double hander for some salmon fishing again. Even just for casting it is great fun. And then on the single hander, I'm going to just setting up a 6-weight outfit with a streamer line on, and I do a bit of streamer fishing this year, which is interesting me quite a lot for some of them bigger brown trout. And then I'm looking forward to fishing the dries again as well. Definitely a nymphing day today. Is no other way to fish this with this volume of water coming down. Oh, missed a take, and just felt the tap. It obviously took it and spat it. And there's one fish I want to catch on a fly this year that's still eluded me, which is a zander. So I think I'm going to book a couple of days at one of the big reservoirs that do a predator fly ticket, and I'd love to catch a zander on the fly. I think that'd be fantastic. So lots to do this year, lots of fishing ideas and trips planned and things to get stuck into. Well, I think that's me done. So thanks so much for listening. If you want any information on our flies and rods and reels and waders, etc., please go to shop.peaksflyfishing.com. For information about guided days and tuition, it's www.peaksflyfishing.com. And as ever, if you're ever in the South Yorkshire area, do pop into the shop in Sheffield and say hello. Until next time, thanks for listening. Goodbye.